Everyone, close your eyes and imagine yourself being able to go to school tuition free, and in order to do that, all you have to do is do the thing you love most. Pretty crazy imagination, right? That was my dream as a kid growing up. All I wanted to do was get a full ride scholarship to play basketball and go to school of my dream. Well, this is the reality for college athletes today. But they are begging and petitioning for more money. College athletes and their families should drop the talk about receiving a salary because they are already being paid by the school in other ways. Teenagers are not mature enough to handle millions of dollars, and by paying college athletes, you take the aspect of adventure and discovery through education out of their college while making their whole lives about money. To elaborate on those, college athletes are already being paid, and a lot of them don't even realize it. Now, according to Business Insider in 2015, college athletes spend nearly 40 hours a week practicing for their team. Athletes argue that this is like having a full-time job, and because of that, they should be compensated. Well, they already do get compensated. They are being paid with free tuition and so much more. A 2016 article by Patrick O'Rourke titled Average Athletic Scholarship stated that last year's college gave out over $3 billion in athletic scholarships alone. Not only that, but all the gear, clothes, dinner on the road, travel, and so on get paid for on the college's dime. To put just one of those in perspective, Holly Rowe wrote an article in 2008 titled College Revenues and Expenses that said the average college team spends over $6 million on travel alone. Now, critics are going to say that colleges make a lot of money with big tournaments and games and so on, and they're right. In fact, Tim Parker's 2017 article, How Much Does the NCAA Make?, says that during March Madness alone, the NCAA made $1 billion. And then they're going to ask, where does that money go? Shouldn't the athletes be compensated for the money they bring in? Well, it goes right back to the school, it goes right back to the team, and all their scholarships. There we go. College athletes not only have everything paid for them, but they also receive other more shady forms of payment. In 2010, Bailey Brodigan wrote an article titled Is It Their Fault? And stated that athletes such as Reggie Bush were being paid under the table upwards of $200,000 in college. This caused many legal issues, and the school got in a lot of trouble. Now, you might say that big athletes like this going to college are the ones who bring the fans to the games and bring revenue to the college. But that is why they're being paid the scholarships and the other athletes aren't. But stuff like this still continues to happen today, and a true story from my personal experience. My best friend Kaylee goes to UCLA, and she happens to be friends with Lonzo Ball. For those of you who don't know, he's a projected top 5 draft pick in this year's NBA draft. And they're hanging out one night, just doing homework, and obviously he's going to be going to the NBA, so he has no motivation for any sort of school. And so he pulls out a wad of cash and says, hey, the school gave me an extra budget this year. Is there any way you can help write my essay in order for like $150 or however much she asked, or however much she asked. So it's not like it was like a huge sum of money, but he still asked for the money, or he still asked for his essay to be done in exchange for the money that the school had given him. And that story brings me to my next point. College athletes and just teens and young adults in general are too immature to handle millions of dollars, or even just a couple $100,000 for that matter. Now, since there are no college athletes receiving any type of pay in the NCAA or college legally, I'm going to turn to a different sort of star for this example, but the same sort of idea as a young adult receiving too much money and not knowing what to do with it still applies. A 2017 article by Celebrity Net Worth says that Justin Bieber is worth over $225 million. Now, this is an extreme case, and I'm not saying any college athlete would ever be paid this kind of money, but let's remind ourselves of what happened to our old friend Justin. Lisa Francis' 2016 article titled What's Going On with Justin Bieber reminds us of the time Justin Bieber was busted for DUI while street racing his Lamborghini. 20-year-olds should be worrying about what they're going to be doing with their college degrees, not how am I going to get my Lamborghini out of the impound lot. Now, I know he isn't a college athlete, and he's being paid way more than any college athlete ever would in a 4-year span, but the same maturity level and number of enticements still apply. Also, going back to the story with Kaylee and Lonzo, he was asking for that kind of stuff when he was on a minimal budget, Imagine what he could have done if he had a couple $100,000 or $1 million during his time at UCLA. That brings me to my last point. Paying a college athlete's salary or commission takes away from the educational experience that is supposed to be implied when you're going to college. People go to college to get an education and advance in the field of study. Tamar Lewin's 2017 article titled, "What Makes a Positive College Experience?" elaborates on the fact that, among other factors, a good education is key when going to college. To expand on that, article spotlights 2006 post titled, "Becoming a Pro Athlete," says that only 1% of male and female college basketball players will go pro. That means that the other 99% of athletes will have to put their degrees to use and get a legitimate job. If these students are being paid during their time of college, they may begin to consider themselves in the workforce. If in their minds they already think they are making it big, then they may disregard the importance of their degree. Then when it comes time to put their education to use, they find themselves unprepared and unlearned. Some students think that they're going to be a part of that 1% and therefore disregard the classwork that's training them to be successful in the workforce. Now you have these students who don't know how to interview or are too impatient to be an intern for a while because as a paid athlete, they never realized what life would be like in the real world. Okay, so now I've thrown a lot of money around in this speech, and it's making you realize how lucky these college athletes are and how in debt you're going to be when you graduate here. But in conclusion, colleges and the NCAA should not allow for students to get a salary or commission for the revenue they bring in. As I've laid out in this speech, the athletes are already being compensated by not having to pay a dime to attend some of the most prestigious colleges in our nation. Also, it takes away from the educational aspect that comes with attending these schools. Basically, nothing good comes from paying a college athlete. So my task to you is that the next time the petition for paying college athletes ever comes around, do yourself, every college, and every college athlete a favor, and don't sign.